Hi, my name is Deetra Clark. I am a regenerative health practitioner and a clinical psychotherapist by trade. And today I want to talk to you about really one of the most important organs in your body next to the pituitary gland, and that is the adrenal glands. So, most of the United States, most of your friends, your family, people you know, have really, really common symptoms that are the result of adrenal fatigue. We have two adrenals that sit on top of two kidneys, and the adrenals support so much in the body. And many of the things that we complain about, many of the ailments that we experience, the things that we feel are common, really are common, but they're not normal. And so I really want to break down one, the purpose of the adrenal glands in the body. Two, the four stages of adrenal fatigue. And three, the things that you can do to support your adrenals to function optimally. So, with that, I'm going to read from a list because there's quite a number of signals of adrenal weakness. And so I want to make sure that I cover them all. So when you're watching this, if you resonate with any of this, you can go into action. So some common signs of adrenal weakness are low adrenal gland medulla. That means typically people will have low blood pressure, insufficient neurotransmission, and neurotransmitters are what communicate to your brain. So they're attached to your nervous system, and it what tells the brain to make more of a certain thing. Like we need more serotonin, which is your feel-good hormone, or we need more dopamine, we need more melatonin, we need more collagen. Your neurotransmission is what communicates to the brain and enables the body to release the right amount of whatever it needs at a specific time. This can also impact things like nerve disorders, so anxiety, seizures, epilepsy, things like that, tremors. Those are nerve disorders. And the adrenal glands play a great part in that. Also, breathing problems and heart arrhythmias. And then low adrenal gland cortex functions cause insufficient steroid production. And steroid production is huge when you're looking at like your joint muscle connective tissues. So things like joint pain, arthritis, you hear commonly now where people are getting steroid shots. And when you're getting steroid shots because you have inflammation or pain in your joints, it is really because the adrenal glands are not doing their job, specifically the adrenal cortex. In females, common signs of adrenal weakness are ovarian cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cyst, conception problems, miscarriages, infertility problems, PCOS, menstrual bleeding problems. So that can look like inconsistent cycles or really long cycles. Typically, what we try to do in the medical community, what they do is they will put you on a birth control to try to regulate your hormones, but it's not necessarily a hormonal issue. It's a gut issue, it's an adrenal issue, and it is a diet issue. So no medication is going to be able to resolve the root cause of why you're having bleeding problems or irregular menstrual cycles or really difficult cramps that can sometimes really impair functioning. I've seen where people are down in the bed for days because their cramps are so bad. Uterine fibroids, endometriosis, fibromyalgia, fibrocystic breast, osteoporosis, and unchecked inflammation. And by unchecked inflammation, that's really speaking more to systemic inflammation. So inflammation throughout the entire body. And most all dis-ease has its base in inflammation. So the adrenal glands have quite a big job. In males, what adrenal weakness looks like is prostate cancer, erection problems, testosterone dominance, and prostate issues. So things like erectile dysfunction or inability to sustain an erection, or even difficulty with conception. Infertility can happen both on the part of the woman and on the man. And that is because when the adrenal glands are not functioning properly, it's an indicator that the kidneys, which are one of our elimination pathways, are not functioning properly. And so what happens is the body is in a state of acidosis. That means in an acidic state. And the adrenals are asleep, so they're not doing their job. And so in males, what that can look like is the body's inability to produce a proper erection because there's not adequate blood flow. And we're 80% lymphatic fluid and 20% blood. Our lymphatic fluid is what cleans our body, and our blood is what feeds our cells, our glands, and our organs. And so if there is acidosis or stagnation in any area, it will impact the flow of blood to whatever organ needs it, which is where we get problems like that in males. And then in both females and males, things like arthritis, spinal and pelvic inflammation, lower back weakness, diabetes, and kidney and bladder weakness. So the inability to hold your bladder, wetting when you're laughing, or if you have to sit for long periods of time, or jumping or running, or any kind of plyometric activity that causes the bladder to leak is not necessarily a bladder issue. It is a sign of adrenal weakness. So now I want to move into the 4 stages of adrenal fatigue that we can commonly recognize. And I want to put this in layman's terms for you. So stage 1, adrenal fatigue, is really, I characterize this as your people that are busybodies. They can't sit still. So they're always doing something. The high performers need to be on the go, always need to be in motion. They get questions like, how do you do it all? Or don't you ever get tired? And really, this is stage 1, the beginning of the adrenals going into weakness. And a comparison is like your cell phone. Before your battery powers down, when your cell phone is low, when the battery is low, what will happen is before the phone powers down, it'll get one last surge of energy and then the phone shuts down. And that is what happens with stage 1 adrenal fatigue. Stage 2 adrenal fatigue is you're beginning to run out of adrenaline, feeling fatigued, and the adrenals are functioning, but they're very, very tired. So typically people in stage 2 adrenal fatigue will think about taking a nap. They're thinking about when the task is going to be over so that they can rest. They're usually pretty easily irritated, moved to emotion really easily. This can look like poor emotional regulation, really like spiraling between feeling regulated and shooting up to high emotions and back down, and really like kind of crashing at the end of the night. And this was me for a long time in stage 2 adrenal fatigue, and I did not know it. I was working out 6 days a week, high intensity workouts, getting up at 4 a.m. to get ready for my 5 a.m. workout, oftentimes not getting enough sleep, doing therapy work with people, and eating on a high acid side of diet, of chemistry, when I thought I was eating well because I was eating organically. I was eating to nourish my muscles. So really focusing on macros and not micros, but all of those things. I was drinking coffee, which is a neurotoxin and really taxes and does a number on the adrenals. And all those things over time led me to stage 2 adrenal fatigue. But I did not know it. I just thought I was tired. I thought I was busy. I thought that I had just had a long day, but really my adrenals were starting to whisper at me. And in regenerative health, we say that if you pay attention to your body's whispers, you don't have to hear it scream. Stage 3 adrenal fatigue is the adrenals at this point are really starting to run dry. So a nap is usually absolutely essential and required to get through the day. By 2 o'clock, most people are done. They're needing a nap. They're napping in their car, or they're thinking about the nap, or they're functioning very, 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 very poorly. The person is usually so fatigued that they lack startle reflex. So that startle is where somebody sneaks up on you and you're caught off guard. It's your fight or flight. When you're in stage 3 adrenal fatigue, that startle reflex is not functioning properly because the adrenals are now really dry and you're running out of adrenaline, and fatigue consumes the thoughts. So if you're not taking a nap, you're thinking about the nap, you're easy to tears, and even thinking about how tired or the next task will move these people off into crying. And then stage 4 is what I call man down. Stage 4 is where the functioning is very minimal. So most times people in stage 4 are not getting up. This is the keeping the alarm, turning it on, turning it off, not getting out of the bed. The naps are longer. They look more like half of the day you're sleeping. So maybe you're in bed until noon or 1. You get up for a couple of hours and then you go back to sleep. This is feeling lethargic. This is brain fog. This is tearfulness. This is really not functioning well at all. And a physiological symptom that you can see on the outside is people in stage 4 adrenal fatigue will have dark blue and black bruising under this part of their eye. Just speaks to how dry the adrenals are. And if they stretch their face or pull down their upper lip or their lower lip, it can also make some bruises pop out. And so that's a physiological symptom. So what do we do with our bodies when they are entering into a phase of adrenal fatigue or there is adrenal weakness? And the first thing that we have to do is recognize it. So once we are educated, when we know better, we can do better. The second thing that I recommend is really getting a hold of the diet. So much of our health is controlled by the foods that we eat, and the quality of our foods directly impact the quality of our life. And so there's 2 sides to the food that we eat. There's the alkaline side, which is where our body is cellularly nourished. It is where the body is thriving. It's where the lymphatic system, the lymphatic fluid is flowing and not crystallizing, where the elimination pathways are open and working properly. And then there is the acidic side of chemistry. And when we're eating acidic foods, they actually leave behind an acidic ash. And that ash is burning, rather. And so it is damaging our gut, it's damaging our organs. And so really cleaning up the diet and moving the body out of the state of acidosis into alkaline is a really powerful step. And we do that simply by minimizing or eliminating coffee, eliminating dairy, minimizing or eliminating processed foods, and minimizing meats. Meats tend to be on the acidic side of chemistry, even fish and chicken. Fish is really high in heavy metal, and chicken is very mucousy and high in inflammation. So that's the first change. The second change is to really work intentionally on getting your elimination pathways open and working properly. We have 3 elimination pathways. One is the kidneys via our urine. 2 is our stools, and then 3 is the air that we breathe. When the elimination pathways are not working properly, the body will use the skin, which is our largest organ, as the 3rd kidney. So you'll start to see things like rashes and eczema, psoriasis, you'll see rosy cheeks, acne, those kinds of things. That's the body's way of eliminating waste, because what we don't eliminate, the body accumulates. And so our body it's very intuitive. It'll work for us to try to eliminate this waste by getting it out. So you'll see it up here on the skin. And one way to get the elimination pathways open is to really focus on eating hydrating fruits, which are super vibrational. They're the highest vibrational food on the face of the planet. Cherries are great antioxidants. They're great for getting the elimination pathway open, and really focusing in on herbs and eliminating processed foods. And so that is going to be key, because the body's ability to thrive internally is dependent on our body's ability to eliminate waste. And then the 4th thing that I recommend is getting sleep. Our bodies do most of their reparative work, their restorative work during our sleeping time, during REM sleep. So that is that deep sleep where the body can start to rebuild and tear down what's no longer serving it. Between 9 and 12 is really important for our adrenals and our endocrine health. And our endocrine health is our pituitary gland, it's our thyroid, it's our adrenals, it's our kidneys. So if you're staying up until 1 or 2 in the morning, you're really missing out on your body's opportunity to repair and do its best work to restore the adrenal glands. So between 9 to 12, we really need to be asleep and in deep sleep. And then I also recommend eliminating heavy metals and glyphosate, which is the main ingredient in Roundup, and parasites to support the body. And I do that through organic superfood nutrition and organic wild crafted herbs is what I put my clients on to really support their body at the cellular level. 30 days of changing your diet is good. Your gut will start to repopulate. You'll start to eliminate some waste. 60 days is better because the body really gets into that next level of regeneration and repair work. 90 days is the best because that is where our body really starts to shed what it no longer needs. It starts to rebuild. Brain cells, nerve system, adrenals, all of those things start to function properly, and you really enter into a state of transformation. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have questions about adrenal weakness, adrenal fatigue, and would like to know more, please reach out to me or the person who shared this video with you, and we would love to support you in your journey. Thanks for watching.